the people from Texas and Florida still feeling the effects of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. Because of those hurricanes, Guru, do you expect home and flood insurance rates to skyrocket?
I don't know about skyrocketing per se, but yes, premiums are going to go up. And we saw that after Superstorm Sandy here in the East, right? New York and New Jersey. So after Sandy hit, what happened? So the government started to draw new flood maps up. So what happened was is that you had people who were not in flood zones that now got pulled into those maps, which meant that now flood insurance was going to be required if they had a mortgage. And then there were other people who were in these flood zones that got pulled into a much more serious or higher risk pool of a flood zone. So what does all that mean? Well, it results in higher rates. So I think there is no question about the fact that what we saw happen here in Florida and in Texas, it's going to have an effect of redrawn flood maps, which is going to cause flood insurance rates to go up. And keep in mind that the costs related to massive flooding are tremendous. And the only entity that really can insure for floods is the federal government. But even the federal government needs financial support because, when we talk about what's going on in the Houston area, there's estimates that the damage is in the vicinity of $200 billion. That's a crazy amount of damage. So it's really only the federal government that could be able to cover that. But the other side of it is the way the federal government gets their money is through taxes, or in this case, it's going to be through flood insurance premiums. So again, I say they are going to go up. Now, let's also talk about this. As the rebuilding process is going to take place, there's now going to be new building code requirements, just like we saw here with Hurricane Sandy. And that's going to require homes to be lifted, which means that you're going to have elevation certificates done to see how high a structure has to be above the projected water levels in the situation of a flood. So if you don't have flood insurance, yes, that insurance now is going to be much higher, particularly if your home is not damaged enough where it's a complete knockdown. But here's the conundrum, is that people who can't afford to rebuild, right, they already have a big problem. And then on top of that, they can't afford the new flood insurance premiums because the houses are not raised up because they can't afford to do it. Therefore, you get slammed with flood insurance. So what happened after Superstorm Sandy? People literally walked away from their properties. And we definitely have a chance of seeing that in areas of Texas and Florida as a result of the recent hurricanes.